That building has been here as long as David and I have been here, which is a really long time. So, and this has never happened before.
From WLOX News Now. This is the 4 o'clock show.
And welcome back. This is a special edition of the 4 o'clock show because we're actually wall to wall now covering Hurricane Zeta, and we hope that you are taking precautions if you haven't already made your preparations.
Yeah, because things are going to deteriorate and do so quickly as we move into the evening hours. So we certainly hope that you are prepared. We have WLOX news crews all over South Mississippi keeping us up to date on the very latest. Let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Carrie Duncan right now.
This is the newest information just in. Still 110 miles, but right now we'll head back to the news desk.
All right, thanks a lot, Carrie. Well, Governor Tate Reeves requesting a federal disaster declaration ahead of Hurricane Zeta today, and also signing a state of emergency.
And the governor joins us now live with more on statewide efforts ahead of the storm. Governor, appreciate having you with us down here on the Mississippi coast. With the disaster declaration in place, what does that mean in terms of providing state resources and potential federal assistance?
Well, thank you for having me on, Dave, and I appreciate y'all sending this message out to the people of South Mississippi.
Thank you, Governor. We appreciate it.
Thank you all. Stay safe out there, and God bless.
All right, thanks so much. Well, the rain is apparently starting to come down in Hancock County, and of course the storm appears to be coming ashore too from the radar in Louisiana now, so getting closer and closer to us, David.
And Michael Dugan joins us live from the beach in Bay St. Louis. Michael, it's looking pretty rough out there. Some water up on the beach.
Here in Hancock County, over at the Bay St. Louis Beach, just off of the boardwalk, and you can probably see behind me there are actually some cars and some trucks coming in and just parking right by the shore. A lot of people with their phones taking videos. For about 45 minutes, curfew that begins at 5 o'clock. So these people are, I guess, getting one last glimpse of what this storm looks like before they're supposed to shelter in their respective homes. These cars have been shuffling in and out since we've been here for the last week, a half hour or so. We can see them back from where we were about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. There was actually a gentleman windsurfing out there until about 15 minutes ago. He tipped over and thankfully made it safely back on shore. But these people are out here and they're just seemingly trying to soak up these last glimpses of the storm before they are supposed to go back home. Again, curfew here for Hancock County begins in about 45 minutes at about 5 o'clock. So conditions beginning to deteriorate a little bit. The wind, nothing crazy. There's definitely some rain, but this area is not yet flooded. But again, the wind has picked up and the rain is picking up a little bit since we've been here over the last 25, 30 minutes or so. Reporting in Hancock County, Michael Dugan, WLOX News Now.
All right, and we are actually going to go to Front Beach now, and that's where Chancellor Wynn is joining us from. Chancellor?
Now the waves in the water here in Front Beach underneath the bridge right behind the yacht club, it's starting to pick up. You can actually see the biggest change so far is if you look across the bay towards Biloxi, normally you would see these tall towers from Golden Nugget, even the Biloxi water tower. But right now, as the rains pick up and move east a little bit, that vision is being cut down a lot. You can see about halfway across the bay, halfway across the bridge from right this area. But if we make our way a little bit down the beach this way, you'll see earlier we mentioned some of these larger sections of piers that were already damaged and vulnerable to this storm is already broken off. And this is one of these sections here. It's about 10 foot by 10 foot on both ways here. And these are the things that can become dangerous. These storms in the past throughout the season have created this issue because they're already vulnerable. They've been weakened. And so without the repairs being made prior to the end of the storm season here, they're causing them to wash up on shore as the waves and the water continues to rise, especially as Hurricane Zeta is making its way through the Gulf Coast coast into Mississippi, making landfall here. And we will see more of these types of materials washing up on the shore. And again, we're going to have to keep you up to date as we do notice a lot of the water rising. About 30 minutes ago or so, it was small rolling swells in the bay here. And as you can see, they're starting to become more of little waves crashing up on the shore, rising up behind and underneath the Ocean Springs Bridge here. So as this water comes to tuition and it starts to make more of an impact here in Jackson County along the Ocean Springs and along Front Beach, we're going to keep you up to date with that and follow along with WLOX throughout the evening to stay safe and to be aware of your surroundings and the dangers that you could potentially face throughout the evening. Reporting live in Ocean Springs, Chancellor Wynn, WLOX News Now.
Welcome back, and we're taking a live look now at Highway 90. This is a shot you recognize, of course, by the, well, from the Biloxi Lighthouse right there at that intersection. And the roads look slick right now, and you can see the waves picking up a bit. And
most folks know the low-lying areas of Highway 90 all along the coast where you definitely see water pooling. So be careful when you're out driving around. And as we saw earlier from the Silver Slipper Casino Tower Cam, Karen, that water was up over the beach and onto Beach Boulevard. So the west end of the coast is getting hit pretty hard right now.
It is, and of course with the 5 o'clock curfew in effect for most areas, you don't need to be out and about anyway, but if you are, please be safe. And those curfews underway include Harrison County, Gulfport, Long Beach, Hancock County, and D'Iberville's curfew starts at 6. No word on the Jackson County area.
All hurricane shelters are now open all across South Mississippi. That began about 15 minutes ago. Here's a look at where you can find those shelters. Highway 43 in the Kill is one opportunity. County Farm Road in Gulfport, Social Lozana Road in Saussure, Ballpark Road up in Van Cleve, Highway 26 West in Bendale, East Central Avenue in Wiggins at Stone County Elementary, and Lamy Bridge Road in D'Iberville at the high school there.
And if you need to head to a shelter and you have not already done so, make sure that you do not bring alcohol, drugs, or any weapons. Do bring any medication you might need, extra clothes and pillows, hand sanitizers. Make sure you have your mask, food for any special dietary needs, important personal documents, baby supplies, diapers, formula, of course, all of that, and then chargers for any electronic devices, books, games, other items to keep your family occupied. And you can find the list and more details about shelters at WLOX.com.
Now we're going to take you down to a Golden Nugget on the point in Biloxi where Chet Landry is standing by live. It's looking pretty rough down there, Chet.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, it's we're actually just behind the parking garage, and the wind is it's you know, that's that southeasterly flow. It's coming in right at us. As you can see, the harbor here, another one of those bleak and empty harbors. The water hasn't quite gotten up over the little piers that are coming out here yet, these jetties, but they won't be long. If we, for example, if we get to that low end of the storm surge that's expected, that's going to be the 6-foot range. I'm 6 feet tall, so you're looking at water on the low end of what has been protected, as tall as I am right now. So you're talking about up over the fence of the station into this Harbor Masters building. If we get on that low end of the storm surge, again, not sure what that's going to bring. 6 to 9 feet. Of course, you can imagine 9 feet is really 3 feet higher than I am right now. So yeah, again, we will continue to see conditions deteriorate as we carry on into the night, as Zeta gets deeper into Louisiana and then into Mississippi. Again, rain's picking up a little bit. The wind really is the major factor right now, and actually what's happening here in South Mississippi. I don't know what the rest of our team is looking like. We're completely exposed to the elements here where we're standing, so naturally we're going to get the brunt of what's going on. We're not really in danger of any flooding just yet. However, if that ends up being the case, we have got some safe shelter here just on the left of where I'm standing now. We'll go up into the parking garage here at the Golden Nugget. That's what we've got here for now. We're going to throw it back to you in the studio. For live in Biloxi, Chet Landry, WLOX News Now.
We're hearing some heavy rain here at the studio in Biloxi right now. And we're going to check in with Andres Fuentes, who's joining us from Clark's gas station by Veterans Avenue.
Yeah, Karen, things have definitely picked up here. I don't know if you could really
hear or see kind of what we're dealing with right now, but we're under an overhang at the Clark's gas station on Highway 90. You can see kind of this saran wrap around one of these pumps. All of these pumps, in matter of fact, have saran wrap on it, but you know, it's just the wind has been very much picking up, and the gas station itself is also boarded up. Some planks on there, and you know, we've been having a lot of rain, but very fortunate that we're under this overhang, because I don't know if this video kind of conveys what we're dealing with right now, but a lot of gusts, a lot of winds. It's very loud, it's very wet out here, but I hope you guys are staying nice and safe and dry over there at the station. Reporting live in Biloxi, Andres Fuentes, WLOX News Now.
Gusts now topping 50 miles an hour here at the television station WLOX. So we are seeing the conditions really deteriorate. And now let's get a picture of what it's looking like out there. Let's head out now to the Golden Nugget in Biloxi. Chet Landry joins us with an update. Chet, how's it looking?
Yeah, that's right. You know, Hugh, you said just a moment ago, gusts at the station of about 50. I'm telling you right now, it's got to be at least that here at the Golden Nugget. Now, just so you're aware, we're safe where we are. It's raining, the wind is blowing, but we have this huge parking garage just on the other side of Mike, my cameraman. He's blocking a lot of what we have going on here. But if you take a look, it is literally sheets of rain just coming in right now. The wind is coming out of the east. And if you take a look over here to the side, the water is also beginning to come up to these jetties that are coming out, like we said a moment ago. Really starting to deteriorate. The trees are bending over here to my right, all the way to the east of the parking garage. It's really starting to get pretty crazy out here. However, we're going to continue to stay out here. We'll let you know what's going on, just so that you are aware we are still very safe out here. There's a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Whenever this water does come up, I just spoke to Jim Cantori. He's literally right here with us. He said they're talking about 7 to 11 feet now instead of 6 to 9. So as soon as, if that takes place, we will definitely move up to the second floor of the parking garage, so we're good to go. But we will continue, we'll stay here at the Golden Nugget and continue to bring you updates here live from Biloxi. Chet Landry, WLOX News Now.
All right, Michael Dugan, in fact, is in Hancock County tonight, and he's going to join us right now for a look at the conditions.
Yeah, we're here in Bay St. Louis, off of the Bay St. Louis Beach, just south of Beach Boulevard, right by St. Stanislaus College. Starting to get darker, and the winds, you're starting to feel kind of these tropical force gusts coming through, and the rain has come down a little bit harder now. The police officers were here, some police cars were here, getting people off here like we talked about earlier. There were some people watching these waves come in down at the end of this pier here in Bay St. Louis. Officers came by about an hour ago, just before the 5 o'clock hour, which is when the Hancock County curfew began, and sent those people home. They were here patrolling for about another half hour or so, and then went on their way. We haven't seen anybody here since. Haven't seen another car come by Beach Boulevard. People seem to be off the roads, and they're certainly no longer here, taking in the last of this storm during daylight hours, at least. Not so much flooding on this pier yet. Not a lot of flooding on Beach Boulevard that we've seen where we are. Winds picking up, water coming in a little bit more, but not a lot of water gathering yet. So, again, these conditions getting worse. They're deteriorating over the last hour or so. The wind has picked up, so we're assuming the flooding is going to start picking up, but we will be here all night long. Reporting in Hancock County, Michael Dugan, WLOX News Now.
Chancellor Wynn joins us live from D'Iberville in front of the Scarlet Pearl. And Chancellor, how are you doing?
So the winds here in front of the Scarlet Pearl are definitely picking up quite a bit here. And you would think they wouldn't be that bad because where we are positioned in front of the Pearl right now, but the winds are coming over the top and swooping back down here. If you can see behind me the stop sign, that really gives you a good visual of how strong this wind is. And you can see based on the lights and the rain as it's moving sideways. And if you come a little bit further to the right here through the parking lot, you can see the bands of the water and the rain sliding across the parking lot, especially with the way the light backlights the rain coming through. And it's not even a direct left to right, north to south type of rain and wind. It's really circulating over here in the parking lot. It's coming from the sides, the back. It's a different atmosphere out here, I'll tell you that right now, especially compared to a little bit east of us. But making our way into D'Iberville, we have heard some transformers blow, and I was talking with the city manager, Clay Jones, and he says the city of D'Iberville is prepared to handle any power outages.
We've been speaking with power companies. They're going to be on the road as soon as this dies down. So we imagine it'll be like this for a couple more hours. The storm's moving pretty quickly. As soon as it gets out, they'll be out fixing power lines and anything that happens like that.
The curfew here in D'Iberville has recently gone into effect, and because they are hoping to keep people off the roads in case any first responders, firefighters, EMTs, police officers need to make their way into a dangerous area to help someone who may be having an emergency. So again, the roads they're still open, but a curfew is in place to really keep people inside their homes as the conditions continue to worsen in D'Iberville. Reporting live in D'Iberville, Chancellor Wynn, WLOX News Now.
Yeah, strong wind gusts coming there just as he was pitching back to us.
Right, it looked like he was about to blow over there, and that stop sign in the background, you could see it just rocking back and forth, which, like he said, was a good visual. Right here is another visual outside of WLOX. You can see how strong and heavy that rain as well as the wind is right now, the flag waving there. We will continue to keep you updated on Hurricane Zeta from here at WLOX Studios, so make sure you stay tuned and stick with us.
Continue to watch this as it continues, now starting to move into Harrison County.
That's right. Speaking of, we just got a wind gust at the airport in Gulfport, 70 miles per hour confirmed.
A 70 mile per
hour wind gust.
All right, so that...
And we just heard a boom.
Yeah, I thought it was, we just took a power hit at the station, not... At first I thought it was lightning, but no lightning with this. Typically with tropical system, we don't see much lightning with storms. Occasionally, every now and then, when they're intensifying. But what you're probably seeing, if you're looking outside and you're seeing flashes and they're blue and they're making that ramp kind of noise. I don't know. I literally just did that. But yeah, they make that really ominous noise, and power flashes they're kind of scary.
And they're going to start.
We have the shot that is outside in our backyard queued up to go. Let me know. I'd like to see what we're seeing here outside at the station. But the core of the storm, all right, let's go to that shot. Let's take a look at that. All right, so this is a live view. Okay, this is the front yard. This is the front yard of the station. So if you're not familiar with our station, we are on DeBees Road in Biloxi. We're about a block from the beach, just north of the tracks. We got strong winds moving on through. If you look really closely on the shot there, you could see the flag that is in our front yard just flapping in the wind. I'm seeing things kind of flying in the air a little bit. Looks like, oh, you saw that? You saw that big bright flash? That was not lightning. That was a power surge. There's another one. That is another power surge we just got there. So you're seeing those blue flashes in the sky. Those are power flashes. We are losing power by the second across South Mississippi.
We have our Michael Dugan, and he just went through the eye wall of the storm, so the most brutal part of the storm, and we're going to go out live to him for a live look. Michael, what was that experience like? Tell us a little bit about it.
Allison, I got this wall right next to me, and if I take a step about a couple inches to my right, the wind starts to feel like it's enough to kind of push me forward one way or another. So my crew and I were kind of hanging out by this wall. We've got a couple things blocking us, so we don't feel that big time. You can probably hear it. We're in a parking garage in downtown Bay St. Louis. This wind is absolutely whistling through this parking garage right now. I don't know if my hat is going to make it through this, but there it goes right there. You can see the rain kind of whip through the parking garage behind me. I don't know if you can tell, but this wind is really whipping it. It's kind of tough to stay on your 2 feet. You've got to kind of get in a little bit of a stance and stand firm. We've seen a couple more transformers blow in the sky, but this is definitely the strongest wind we have felt all night. It has picked up significantly over the last 15 or 20 minutes, and these gusts that come through, this is my first time seeing that they're anything more than a tropical storm, and these gusts that whip and whistle right through this parking garage are breathtaking. I've never felt anything like this. I know it's not the strongest one this area has seen, but for me personally, this is something else. So we'll be here in Hancock County all night long, checking back in with you guys, but for now, reporting in Bay St. Louis, Michael Dugan, WLOX News Now.
Now, I'm Michael Dugan. He's a Chicago boy, and he just described the experience of going through a storm like this as breathtaking. So that just goes to show you how powerful this storm is. Someone who's never experienced a hurricane going through that, especially right there where the eye wall just went past, pretty extraordinary. The conditions right now from the Golden Nugget in Biloxi, you see the wind is whipping. This is in, I believe, it's one of the, whoa, that's, this is not on the first. This is not in the first floor, but you can still see water coming in. Wow.
Yes,
Oh my gosh, look at this water. We're hearing now that our reporter who is out there, Chet Landry, is now trapped. Look at someone's car there. Look at how high that water is. This is just extraordinary footage here. Look at that surge. Wow.
Yeah, and if the water is up that high there at the Golden Nugget, that gives you an idea of what the conditions are like all along Highway 90. If we're seeing the water like that, I could think it's safe to say that Highway 90 is probably covered with water.
Right, because we see Highway 90 in terrible conditions when it's just a small stormy. The sand always washes onto the highway and the water does build on that highway rather quickly. So for something like this, we haven't seen Highway 90 in a while, but I can imagine that it's probably underwater right now.
Hurricane force gust here at the station, 75 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour here at the station. So this makes perfect sense that we're seeing these strong winds, and this is where we're starting to see the surge coming up. 7 to 11 feet. That's what the surge is forecast to be here in South Mississippi.
75-mile-an-hour winds.
Here.
I think that was just a few minutes ago. Just now,
at WLOX.
I think I saw the lights kind of move here in the studio, so that...
yeah, and then 81 at Bay Waveland.
104 in Bay Waveland is the wind gust. So we've just gusted over 100 miles per hour in Bay Waveland, and that is after the core of the storm that has, or at least on radar. This is live. This is...
That's still the Golden Nugget.
Golden Nugget right there.
Okay, so that's looking out into the parking lot. So yes, Highway 90 is going to be underwater, of course, in East Biloxi. That's what we saw, of course, with Nate. And when we were talking with Rupert Lacey earlier, and like we've been saying, it looks like that from 3 years ago, we're at least going to see that type of storm surge. It has taken a little bit longer to get in here. It seems like the core has been a little bit tighter with Zeta, and so the surge has, oh, look at that power flash. That is definitely
again, not lightning. Those are power.
Those are transformers blowing, but some power coming back on right there in that picture. But certainly taking a hit, and a transformer is definitely exploding when we see those. Especially you see that green flash, and then you hear the eerie sound of the howling winds, and then everything is just dark when you lose all power. Luckily, we have light here, so we have such a fantastic shot and vantage point right here at the Golden Nugget. That's on the point in Biloxi.
So we got cars underwater now
on the first floor.
On the first floor of the Golden Nugget there.
4 cars, I see.
Again, if you still have power, if you're watching, if you're still able to tune in,
lucky few.
One of the lucky few. This is the Golden Nugget, the storm surge coming in as the core of Hurricane Zeta moves on through. You're starting to see things fly around that shouldn't be flying around because we're seeing the strong winds. Look at the waves. It looks like they're kind of starting to move those cars. Again, it doesn't take.
They are.
You don't have to.
Cars are starting to float.
The cars are floating. It doesn't take covering up the whole road or covering up the whole car for it to float away, and that's what we're seeing over in the Golden Nugget.
And that's also why you can't tell the water is rising, because the cars are floating.
That's it too. So this scene is just going to continue throughout the night in South Mississippi.
The pressure is really hard. I think our glass window is about to blow. My in-laws and I was like, and my sister-in-law is like, no, do not open the door. They're like, maybe open it to release some pressure. If you are feeling that right now, do not do it. That's going to allow the wind to come in, and then everything can go from there. You want to keep your house secured. Do not crack a window. Don't open a window. Don't open a door. That's when you really start to see damage taking shape, especially with the winds that we are seeing right now, and they are just going to continue.
We're going to go now to Biloxi. Chad Landry is actually still at the Golden Nugget. I believe he's fairly safe, at least I hope, in the garage there. Or where are you now, Chad?
Yeah, I'm in the garage. I'm actually on a staircase between the first floor and the second floor. I'm going to move out of the way so you can see these cars here. I hope you can see them. They've come up off the ground. They're floating. The trunks are open. The lights are flashing. We've actually lost power here in the garage, and it's a lot like what Carrie said a few moments ago. It's creepy. It's eerie. This staircase has been vibrating and shaking and moving, but the wind is really, I don't know if you can hear that, but it is, again, this is an impressive storm. The water is coming in. If you look down here, You can see the half of the door down here, down the staircase. The doors are closed. It's up to the handrails on the door right here. The water is about up to the 5th or 6th step in this staircase, and it's literally, I can literally feel it shaking underneath my feet as the water really just kind of pounds the supports. We're gonna stay alive. We've managed to get a fix for the camera at this point, so we're gonna keep coming back to you as frequently as we can. Some impressive sights here at the Golden Nugget in Biloxi. For now in Biloxi, Chet Landry, WLOX News Now.
I believe we have Chancellor in D'Iberville. Let's see what Chancellor has. Chancellor?
We're going. So right next to in D'Iberville, right next to the Scarlet Pearl, you can see looking down the street at these palm trees that are wrapped in these rope lights. Now, some of the ropes are coming off, and when you go through that entryway to the Scarlet Pearl, it really turns into a wind tunnel. Driving our car through there, our car was rocking so much back and forth. We got out as quick as we could. But if we look to our left, towards the D'Iberville Marina, you can see the water has taken over Bayshore Drive. You're actually seeing way down there, if you can see it. I know it's dark, but there are waves going over that road. You can see the white caps of these waves going over this road, and it's a good 100 yards or so away from the water, so it really shows you and goes to show you how much this storm surge is affecting us on this back bay of Biloxi here in D'Iberville. And the water, it comes up to this entire intersection here along Bayshore Drive. And again, the reason that it's so concerning is the quickness and the speed that these waves are coming up onto shore with. This is not just a rising water in a slow pace. In the last 15 minutes, it has risen from almost where that stop sign is waving around in the wind, which is about 15 feet from where we're standing with the camera, towards this car, and it's almost touching our car right now. So in a few moments, we're gonna have to head a little bit further inland because, again, this rising water is coming up at a very quick pace. So if you are out and about driving around, I really recommend getting into a safe location, a house, hopefully somewhere that's going to be safe, because these high winds and these rain and this water that is rising is going to cause a lot of damage and be very dangerous if you are out inside of it. So again, please get to a safe area. Reporting live in D'Iberville, Chancellor Wynn, WLOX News Now.
Wow, that was something. And what you're seeing right here.
Yeah, the roof has come off somewhat, as you can see there on the building that's in the parking lot behind WLOX. That building has been here as long as David and I have been here, which is a really long time. So, and this has never happened before. It is an older building. I don't know what kind of shape the roof was in, but looks like the roof is
just been
sheared. Off. Yeah.
Yeah, the metal edge there is basically gone. I don't know about the other structure. I imagine that is a similar scene many places all along the Gulf Coast. And that water that Chancellor was showing us down there by Scarlet Pearl, that literally is, I know that's 100 yards up, as Chancellor said, from Back Bay.
Yeah, that was a lot of water.
Of water up to the stop signs down in the east, in the point in Biloxi.
And over in Bay St. Louis, Michael Dugan has been spending the evening in Hancock County. And Michael, frankly, that looks much more calm than it did last time we touched base with you.
You can say that again, Dave. It's a lot calmer now. There's the wind where we are on the corner of North 2nd Street and Carroll here in Bay St. Louis. The wind is minimal. There is no rain. But there is damage. As you can see behind me, there are a number of trees down over these blocks that we've traveled. We've only been out about 20-25 minutes or so. We're going to have a lot more coverage throughout the night of a lot more damage. There are a number of trees down. This is a large one, again, on the corner of North 2nd and Carroll in Bay St. Louis. You cannot get by through the street, obviously, through this intersection. There are branches down before us. And there are power lines down throughout Bay St. Louis as well. We've come up to a couple of down power lines. Obviously, do not drive over power lines. Be very, very cautious if you're out on the roads right now, if you have to be out on the roads right now. But there are power lines down. There are trees down. We're going to head on over after this to a tree at one of the shops in downtown Bay St. Louis. Missed it by about that much. We'll be over there in a little bit. But there are trees down. There are power lines down. If you have to be out, be very, very, very careful and keep your eyes open if you are on these roads. This is, again, just a small microcosm of some of the damage here in Bay St. Louis. So we're going to keep going and keep traveling throughout here and see what else we can find here. So for now, reporting in Hancock County, Michael Dugan, WLOX News Now.
We're going to take you back out to Biloxi, where Josh Berrien is joining us now live from Treasure Bay. And Josh, are the winds slowing down at all there now?
Absolutely not, Karen and Dave. Actually, the winds have actually picked up. As you can see, about maybe 15 minutes ago, I had a hat. That WLOX hat is now gone, long gone, along with a lot of this debris that's coming here into the valet parking lot of the Treasure Bay Casino. Actually going to step out real quickly here and see some of the debris that is actually coming into the valet parking lot here. For a minute there were actually pieces of the ceiling, not in this exact location, but in the other location. We were on the other side of the casino that were flying around, so we had to quickly get in our car or be behind something that was very still and stationary, like this brick wall over to the right of us over here. But yeah, like I said, Karen, the winds have not slowed down at all. There are people here. There's a little bit of security over here that's trying to make sure that certain things are locked down, make sure that things are not moving. They're actually about to go on the other side here of the casino to make sure that nothing is broken or damaged. We just saw law enforcement over here on 90 checking to make sure that no one was on the roads, to make sure that everything is safe. Again, there's a lot of things right now that are going on right now. The winds are kicking the palm trees over here near the Treasure Bay Casino and making leaves, fly around over here in the area. We're actually going to get out of this space right now. Again, the wind is picking up. There's really no debris right now, so we don't have to really worry about that. But the winds are picking up really rapidly right now. So we're actually going to get out of this area and go to a different area so we can see what that's like on the coast. For now, from Treasure Bay Casino, Josh Berrien, WLOX News Now.
Hey guys, so yeah, we're at the Golden Nugget right now. It stopped raining, the wind has died down, but we've actually come out front just so we can kind of show you. About an hour and a half ago, that pickup truck right there was completely covered in water. You couldn't see it, so that goes to show that the tide, the storm surge has gone out quite a bit. Now, if you come down here down the ramp with me, this is the front ramp that comes into the casino. Pieces of styrofoam and debris everywhere. The water has stopped right. It's receded quite a bit, but it stopped right here where the big GN sign is. I'm not really sure what all of this styrofoam is. I can say that I've seen a picture of the east-facing wall of Margaritaville, and a lot of that wall has come down off of the casino. I don't know if that's what this is, but it looks there's quite a bit of damage here. You've got looks to be there's a palm tree that's completely broken in half over here on the side. There's some cars parked underneath the convention space here at the Golden Nugget. I don't know if you can see under there. There's still a handful of cars parked under there that were very much underwater just a few hours ago. You can see we showed you earlier when we were on the third floor of the parking garage. We showed you that marketing sign here, the big Golden Nugget sign. You can see right up here, Mike, if you want to get over here and take this shot here, you can see it's just shredded with those winds that were lashing here earlier. So we have a good bit of damage here, just a lot to clean up here. We're going to throw it back to you guys reporting in Biloxi. Chet Landry, WLOX News Now.
You just never expect to see damage like that. You see other places, but when you see it in the place that you live and your family lives, it's really heartbreaking because you know people who go there, you may know the owners, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of that associated with this storm. Right now, our Michael Dugan is still live out searching and some of the damage that was done along the coast. I've been seeing your updates, Michael, on Twitter. It seems like there's a lot of damage in the area where you are. You're right now on Highway 90 in Pass Christian. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Allison, Hugh, first off, eastbound on 90, pretty much right when you get off the bridge from Bay St. Louis, covered in sand, a lot of water, a lot of sand. Shouldn't be driving on it anyway, but it took us a very long time to get here. Now to what's in front of me. This appears to be the remains or some remains of a pier. I don't know where it came from. We're not certain where it came from. There is another big chunk behind me, about 20 yards. All of this wood, there's a lot of rope too. This is a complete mess. We're at the intersection of Magnolia and 90. You probably can't see it, but in between these two palm trees, there is a lot more wood. There's a lot more debris. These two piers, again, I'm not certain where they came from. We couldn't think of any piers that were nearby right here. So, again, this is a complete mess. This takes up about a little more than half of this intersection of Magnolia and Highway 90. So there's a lot to clean up here on Highway 90 and past Christian. This is something. This is something.
And Michael, I don't think you've made it to the past Christian Harbor yet, but I have seen some pictures in that area. And on the picture that I saw, there was a sailboat on Highway 90. How difficult was it? You said it took a long time for you to get just from Bay St. Louis across the bridge to past Christian. How were you able to navigate the debris in the road?
Going really slowly, Hugh. Going really slowly. You kind of have to treat it, this is for the Midwesterners out there, like you're driving through a snowstorm. That's how I treated it. You got to go really slowly through that sand. And that's how we made it here again. From the end of the bridge to get here to Magnolia Avenue at Highway 90, it took us at least 20 minutes maybe. So no, we have not yet made it to the harbor in past Christian. We're going to keep heading that way and see what we can find. But if you have to be out, if you see sand on the roads, especially on these eastbound southernmost lanes of 90, be very, very careful. Take it very, very slowly. There's a lot of stuff out there. Couple pieces of wood here and there, some branches. So, and obviously all that sand and even some standing water that can creep up in between mounds of sand. So take it very easy and very slowly if you absolutely must be on 90. But again, these curfews are in place, so nobody theoretically should be out here. We've seen a couple of trucks come by, but not much action right now. So, yeah, I mean, you can see this right in front of me. This is something. This is something, and we're going to keep going to see what we can find near the harbor.
Yeah, and just another quick question for you. You were out there in the wind in Hancock County at the height of the storm. What was it like? What kind of experience was that for you?
For those that were watching, we were basically leaning up against a wall. The wind was at our back, but we had a couple of obstacles behind us kind of obstructing that wind from whistling in this parking garage. And if you took a step 6 inches to your right from where we were, I at least had to kind of fight for my balance a little bit. We were talking to a storm chaser who was there with us, and he said this feels like every bit of a Cat 3. He was routinely in awe of the sheer force of the winds that were whistling through that parking garage and the mist of rain that was coming through. So that was something I've never felt before. Again, I know that's not the strongest storm that people have seen around here, but me personally, I've never felt anything quite like that. And some of the damage that we've seen adds up. There are a lot of trees down over in Hancock County, and you can see right here. And again, we're not even through past Christian, so we're going to keep working our way toward Gulfport and Biloxi and through Long Beach and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to keep coming live and letting you guys know what we see.
All right, Michael, thank you, and good job out there. Thanks for painting the picture of what the situation is for us.
Michael, you're doing a great job out there. I know you're a Midwest boy, but you are really taking this hurricane head on and doing some great work out there.
All right, guys, thank you. We'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Please heed the warnings that you are hearing from officials and from us to stay off the roads, because it sounds like it is nasty out there. And our Chancellor Wynne is actually out in the midst of this damage. He is in St. Martin. Chancellor, tell us, what are you seeing in St. Martin right now in terms of that damage?
So the damage that we're really starting to notice in this area is coming from a lot of this water that was up on the roadways here. And you can kind of see behind me, I know it's a little dark right now, but you can see this is just one driveway we're standing in the front of. And if I get a little lower, you can still see the water coming up to the sides here. There was a gentleman who walked all the way through this. This goes on for a good 200 yards, about 2 football fields or so. And it went all the way up to about his stomach here. So it's very, very deep. And on the other end of it, there are some townhomes, and those townhouses, water inside of them, as well as other houses in this area. Now, a few people did get lucky. Their houses are built up a little bit higher, but there's no power. Power lines have been down. Even a large tree fell across the road here at Dismuke. And that tree, people are down there right now working to try and pull it off, but without chainsaws and coming across it so suddenly through the night. They had a chain wrapped around it. Still, it's a struggle because of the size of that tree there. And again, the water rising, many of people are saying they got very lucky with the water only coming within a couple of inches of their front doors, where it could have easily gone inside of their homes. But one person we talked to tonight said he had around 6 inches or so in his home, and you can see the water line on many of these homes here. But the issues throughout the night are going to be the lack of power. The water's still blocking many roadways, and again, trees are down. It's a dangerous situation to go out walking or riding your car, driving anywhere throughout this night. And that's why we're still seeing, again, that curfews in place in D'Iberville, as well as other cities throughout the coast, which is going to stay in effect till around 6 a.m. tomorrow. So again, the best thing to do at this point is just to stay indoors. I know WLOX will be writing our coverage throughout the evening, throughout tonight, letting everyone know what they can see, what they can expect when they wake up tomorrow morning and they start seeing some of this damage that has been across the coast. Reporting live in reporting live in St. Martin, Chancellor Wynn, WLOX News Now.
If you're watching with us here, if you had your phone charged up and you're continuing to watch with us, thank you for doing that. And I know you wanted to stay update with us, and we've been on with you now for several hours since late this afternoon. And we watched this storm move in and now move out, and now we are following the damage assessments. But it's going to be difficult, I think, once the sun comes up, we start seeing this widespread damage that people are telling us is out there.